Hello. We're still on standard practice 6.6, the homework from the other night. This is question number 4. We have 5 1/3 plus 6 1/6. Notice again, instead of going across, I've stacked them on top of one another. That way it's easier for me to show my work on the side. So the first thing I notice is, number one, that we're doing addition. That's really important to realize. And then secondly, that because we're doing addition, we cannot add two fractions if their denominators are unlike or not the same. So I need to figure out a way to make my denominators the same, but still make my fraction equivalent to 1/3 and 1/6. So the way I'm going to do that is list out my multiples. So I'll first start with 3, 6, and I'm actually going to stop right here because I noticed that my second number that I need to list multiples for is 6. And that's the first multiple in multiples of 6. So I'm looking for a number that they both have in common, which is 6. So my new denominator becomes 6. So in order to get my 3 to go to 6, I multiplied the 3 by 1 2 times. 3 times 2 gave me 6. Whatever I do to the bottom denominator, I must do to the top numerator. So now I must multiply my 1 by 2. That way my fraction still stays equivalent. So 1 times 2 is just 2. I do the same exact thing for my bottom fraction. So 6 just multiplied 1 time to give me 6. So whatever I do to my denominator, I must also do to my numerator. So 1 times 1 is 1. And then just so I don't forget, I just bring my whole numbers over. That way I can remember to add them when the time comes. It's important to make your sign here because another common error is accidentally subtracting when you should be adding or adding when you should be subtracting. So it's good to double check back and see what operation you're using. Now when we add our denominator, always stays the same. So you just leave the 6 on the top fraction and the bottom fraction. Just keep it as a 6. And then add your numerators. 2 plus 1 is 3. Moving on, you're just going to add your whole numbers. 5 plus 6 is 11. So normally this would be okay, but oftentimes in directions it tells you to write your answer in simplest form. This would not be simplest form because we could reduce the fraction 3/6 into lower terms and still make it be equivalent to 3/6. So what I told Richie is to check for divisibility for 3 and 6 if there's a number that can divide evenly into both of these numbers. Always try and check 2, 3, or 5 because these numbers are small and they're easy to divide with. So because I know my multiples of 2, if I were to do 2, 4, 6, 8, if I stop right here, I see the 6 in my multiples of 2, but I don't see the 3 in there. So I know that both numbers cannot divide into 2. So let me check 6 or 3. I'll do my multiples of 3. 3, 6. Already I can stop because I know that both 3 and 6 are divisible by 3. So I divide my top number by 3. And again, whatever I do to my bottom, I must do to my top. Whatever I do to my top, I must do to my bottom, my denominator. Divide them both by 3. 3 divided by 3 equals 1. 6 divided by 3 is 2, and again I can just use my multiples. 6 dividing by 3, it goes in 1 2 times. And then I just bring over my whole number. So in simplest terms, technically this is 11 and 1/2 instead of 11 and 3/6. And again, it's the same thing because if we're thinking of it like fractions, if I'm sheeting 1/2 of this block, it would be the same as sheeting 3/6. 1, 2, 3. They're equivalent. So your final answer, 11 1/2. Simplest terms.